Right here, Batman.
I think we are.
you hear me?
We go. Yes, I think we're go. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
what's it been 5.5 years?
More. I think potentially 6 years since the great team of Motoring Middle East
We're back together.
was back together. The gang is back together. That's the big announcement. We're back.
That's it. We're back. We're back together.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
This is incredible, dude. It is so good to see you again. I can't believe we're sitting in the sunny London, which you must have brought with you in your suitcase.
Yeah.
Because there was no sun here before.
It wasn't. But I have arrived in the UK and everything is marvelous. It is an absolutely heavenly day in the UK.
It's incredible.
Absolutely heavenly.
Seriously, it was like autumn just last week.
Now look at this. The sun is on our face. I brought thermals.
Well, I told you. Actually, that's my fault because I told you. I said pack wet weather gear and pack thermals.
I bought a frog suit.
Well, you never know. You might still need it. But dude, what has it been like? I mean, so I've been out of Dubai now coming up to 6 years, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, what's changed? What's new? Does anybody remember me?
I think people will never forget Motoring Middle East. They'll never forget. They might forget us, but they won't forget Motoring Middle East and the wonderful meets we did. But I think the world has changed in a good way. There are a lot more people, there are a lot more groups. It's all much more complicated. You know, when you left, Stance was just becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And now Stance has its own shows. You know,
Stance has its own shows.
Stance has its own very successful
Wow.
shows that take place in like hotels and like
See,
in car parks. Underground, literally underground.
Yeah, because looking from the outside in, so now that I'm so outside looking back in again, because I see all the Instagram stuff and everything, it looks like the car culture scene is really taken off in a good way.
It's expanded beyond all belief. And now what's happened is it's become very micro niche. Everybody who has an interest has a car, has a group, somebody to support them. You got an MX-5, there's a specific group for you. If you've got Cherokees, Grand Cherokees, there are specific groups for them. So what we did at Motoring Middle East was bring everybody together. I think that mantle is now successfully being taken forward by the Sahlawi brothers with Flat 12. They done a really good job.
Right. So this is something that happened after me. So Flat 12,
well, they had a cafe.
Is that a place now?
That is a place.
Right.
That's both a brand and a place. So they have their great event called the Grand Picnic, which
I've seen pictures. It looks great.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
1,000+ cars in one spot. Crazy. They take over Safa Park. But they also have a cafe. That's the one thing you and me didn't have.
Yeah. We didn't have that.
We should have bought a cafe.
Maybe we should have the MME cafe. That's what we should have done. And you know what? There's more money in coffees than there is in what we were doing. Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, car people need a day like today where you can just hang out. And that's the one sad thing I can see about the UK. Car culture in the UK has dipped a bit.
Dipped? It's died, man. We are in the downswing big time. You know, we are obviously, as you know, we're in the middle of election. Well, election month is next month, and it's not looking good, I'm afraid. But in terms of car culture, in terms of car enthusiasm, so we're sitting here now in down there. Well, we just came up from Piccadilly. Down there's Tottenham Court Road, so we're right in the middle of London. We haven't seen a single cool car pass. We've been sitting out here for a while now.
I've seen a lot of vans.
A lot of taxis, a lot of buses. And all the buses aren't electric, by the way. That's a myth.
You can hear them right now.
You can hear one right now.
Insert oil.
It's under emergency engine flap.
Yeah.
And not a single cool car has passed here. And that didn't used to be the case before. Like sitting here this long, we would have seen a Ferrari, a Lamborghini or something right now. Nothing
Where
at all.
are the boys from the Middle East? Where are the Lamborghini?
They're all in Knightsbridge and Kensington, to be
we need
fair.
to maybe go for a walk there.
Yeah.
But the opposite thing in Dubai now, you know, in Dubai it's very hard to excite people because we've seen everything. There's so much cars. Like I have a mate who's converting a Cayenne into an off-road car, and I'm like, everything's been converted into off-road. Everything's gone off-road. Everything's done it.
Yeah. What do you do now?
Remember years ago, we wanted to get a BMW, a classic BMW, and take it off-road. It's all been done.
Yeah. Well, remember when we took a Passat off-road?
Yes. And it was modified. We modified it with OEM parts. We put a stock smaller wheel combo.
It wasn't. Oh, look, just saw a Ferrari, but that's actually a promotional Ferrari.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure that counts. It has promotional stickers on it. But no, the only modification we had was that we just swapped the wheels. We just swapped it for smaller wheels. That's all it was, you know. But other than that, it was stock. But it was extraordinary. But I mean, there's something that you were telling me, like this. Obviously, the car culture has exploded, but it also sounds it's got a bit more stricter there because you can't like drive into the desert anymore.
The desert's not what it used to be. A lot of the areas have been fenced off. So a lot of the things that people used to do for fun you can't really do anymore. For example, the roads like the roads to the east, the Kalba Road doesn't exist anymore.
The Kalba Road?
It's gone. He's hearing about his live on camera. It's gone. It's completely gone.
The Kalba Road?
Gone. There's a whole new road there. There's a road to Korfakan. The Kalba Road is gone.
But that was
That's it, it's gone.
That was the road.
That's it. It's gone. The road to the tunnel.
Wow.
Once you get to the village of Hilo, you go a completely different direction and you take like a different road.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a lot faster, but there's obviously cameras. You can't really
What
exercise
about
your.
my little back road through that little village?
That's one still there.
Something's still there.
That
at
one's
least.
still there.
That's
There's
a
a lot of,
fun little
lot
road.
of
that.
bicyclists on that road now.
There used to be a lot. No, bikers
Not
used to go
biker
there.
gangs, like bicyclists.
Yeah.
They're very annoying.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch out for cyclists.
Yeah, you literally watch out for them. Don't hit them. But honestly, like, there's less places to enjoy your car, so that's why most people are just curb crawling is the best way to describe
I
them.
mean, to be honest, what you're saying is sounding very depressing. Because this is the thing, I'm sitting here in London quite depressed about the way things are going, especially in terms of cars, car culture, and the way you can enjoy. Like I said, we're sitting here. I didn't drive in today. We parked the car at home.
We parked the
You
car
were in the
very far
BCG.
away.
You were in the BCG BMW E30, but I parked it at home,
Yeah.
and then we tubed it in because
Yeah.
there's no point bringing it in. I was with a friend yesterday. I met him again after 30 years, and we were talking about time we used to go college in the middle of London, and three of us had cars. We had a Lancia Prisma, Mercedes 190, and a Ford Granada Scorpio, and we all
All
three
cool
used-
cars,
and
also.
we all used to bring them in. We used to bring all of the cars into London and drive around London because back then you could. You know, this was like the late 80s. You know. But now so I'm sitting here feeling quite depressed.
Honestly,
And-
why
and
would you drive into London? Why would you?
To be fair, but I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm going to catch up with you and you're going to get me excited again about everything that's going on over there. And now you're saying that restrictions happening there as well.
But the culture is still strong. People are still buying cars. People are still modifying. I think the passion, the energy is there. People will find ways. Like they go further into the desert. They go up Jebel Jais. So now Jebel Jais is a very well-trod route. There's a new road there. So it's actually really easy to get to. Before you had to go through all these squiggly bits of road. Now you can pretty much drive up a highway bridge straight up to the base of the mountain. So, and you can drive reasonably spirited fashion on Jebel Jais, no problem. Jebel Afid's still there. There are some new roads that are popping up, which I won't reveal here on this podcast.
No, maybe not.
But there are stuff.
Because actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because we kind of gave away Jebel Jais, didn't we?
We gave away Jebel Jais.
Because people won't remember this, but we went and we took 3 cars up there. We took your car. You had an 86. And we had
McLaren,
a
you had a
McLaren.
Countryman.
So Fraser had a McLaren. I had
Briefly.
a Mini. I think it was a Mini Countryman,
It was a
John Cooper
Countryman.
or something. Yeah.
The McLaren never made it back.
McLaren never made it back. It broke down.
We didn't break it.
We didn't break it. It broke. It literally went into safe mode and refused to go
We've never
anywhere.
had
you
a
know?
McLaren test finish
That's true, actually.
at Motoring Middle East. We
Yeah.
never finished a single McLaren test. Something always happened.
So, but then we did that. We did that video, and we kind of like blew the secret about that road, didn't we? Because after that, there were traffic jams on that road.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, people are still doing stuff. People are still meeting up, modifying their cars. Modification is even bigger than ever before. There is still the new car boys, but a lot of people are into the art movement. So there's a lot of passion
The
around
art movement?
Yeah, creating cars and doing passionate stuff, painting them funny colors and just creating
That's good.
weird concoctions.
That's good. Yeah.
Like people are doing funny things with defenders and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's good. What I'm not seeing is that passion here. This is a bicycle town.
Yeah.
Like,
Here,
I'm really-
no.
But London, the UK is where so many great cars were made. Where is that energy going to go if you're not going to make cars?
Honestly, we had the
It's not in music because you're not in the top of the charts anymore. So
Not in many things, to be
we're
honest.
a long way from Pet Shop
Yeah,
Boys.
we don't set the world example in politics either. That's
Yeah.
a bit of a joke. But
So where's that passion going? Because you have a great creativity and energy and spirit.
we don't have a car industry, to be honest. Think about it. We don't really
You're
have
a
a car
design
industry.
consultancy based in
Yeah,
Ireland.
we have assembly plants, and we have design consultancies. So Nissan, the design center, is here in London.
Honda does
But
stuff here,
Honda does stuff here. But honestly, all our homegrown brands have virtually disappeared. I mean, we've got JLR, but they're floundering at the moment, to be honest.
Well, they're a
you know.
fashion brand.
They are a
They're
fashion
so
brand.
far, and I can say this, JLR is so far away from what that brand used to represent. You'd have to find a particularly powerful rocket to make your way back to it.
And
Because
the thing is, it can't even do that anymore because, like you say, I mean, it's from what it represents, but now it's sort of a.
they've made a car called the Range Rover SV,
Yeah.
right? A Sport SV, which used to be called the SVR. Now they just dropped the R. You know what that car can't do? Go off-road. It's a
It's
Range
meant for here. right?
meant for here.
But here's my point.
It might break its fender.
It
bumper.
might break its bumper on the pavement, but here's my point. It can't even come here anymore because if it comes here, it gets nicked.
It gets nicked.
You know, it's not possible to insure Range Rovers now in London for a lot of companies because they're just getting nicked all the time.
We had a very strange place where Jaguar Land Rover makes road cars, and they're not called Jaguars.
Yeah.
So, if that's the case, like, what is happening to you guys? Like, you have such a beautiful country and such a long history. What's going to become of it?
Yeah,
like, you can evolve and change.
So you're about to embark on a drive tomorrow, all the way up to Scotland.
Yeah.
And you were keen to do that, and I was trying to put you off. I was doing everything
That's really
possible.
bad, man.
Honestly,
That's
I was doing
really
everything possible to try and put you off because I'm like, that's a 6-hour torment of boredom up the M1, M6 across, you know, because unless you deviate, you can go into like district or into the Peak District, but not Wales, because Wales now is not what it used
And
to be
my whole
anymore.
life, I thought Wales was the place to drive a car.
Wales was the famous location of the famous Evo Triangle, which a lot of magazine readers would know.
Harris videos have been shot on those moors, dales, whatever you call them.
Yeah, but now, well, cameras basically. They're not anything now. They're
So
just
now he just goes to the track.
They're just cameras everywhere. That's the problem.
But
you
not
know?
everybody can afford to go to the track. What happened? I know if you're a rich enthusiast in the UK, you're probably going, I can do whatever I want. You probably have land that you can drive on. You probably can afford to rent a track for you and your mates. And you can afford to, and this happens a lot with some of our more famous YouTubers, you can afford to take your cars on jaunts. You can afford to, I'll go to Morocco in my Testarossa, I won't say who that is. But you can do that. And
There's also airfields here as well, which you can hire out.
but what do regular people do? And that's what Motor Middle East was about.
They take the
regular
bus. The cities.
people. They read about it.
They take the bus and they just read about it or watch
to America.
YouTube videos. That's it. Yeah. But
move
you're
to
talking
Dubai.
about jaunts and you're talking about road trips and stuff like that. And you're doing this road trip tomorrow. But you were saying that you're the road trip guy now. So what's this all about now?
So Motor Middle East was the car review, guys. And that's
Yeah.
gone pretty quiet now. But I road trip. So I go and find things in places that haven't been found. I mean, I've been all over the Arabian Peninsula. I've been to Masira Island. And I've also been to the farthest reaches of Saudi looking for abandoned aircraft. So that's my thing, is finding historic relics.
Are there
in the
many
middle of-
abandoned aircraft in Saudi Arabia?
There is.
Really?
They're still there.
Wow.
There is a PBY Catalina
I mean,
sitting
you
on the
stepped
beach.
it up. You leveled up because basically, in the old days, what we used to do, we used to go around. Like
These are features. We used to write about this.
No. When I was growing up in Jeddah,
Yeah.
I used to go around looking for the abandoned cars.
Yeah.
You've leveled up. You're looking for the abandoned airplanes. That's a whole
There
different
are
ballgame.
so many abandoned, the Lawrence of Arabia trains, they're all out there. And they're not, as long as you have a 4x4, you can probably get to them. Not even a very difficult 4x4.
But is it opened up now in Saudi Arabia? Because like when I used to live there, you couldn't even leave your city
We've
without
forgotten about
a
Dubai.
letter.
We're talking about Saudi because
Yeah.
Saudi is where you can go and explore. I mean, it is just vast amounts of landscape. You're bound to find something out there.
Yeah.
There's just so much space to camp, to explore, to have adventures. The problem is, as a city and a country grows up and becomes like this, a little bit of that adventure goes away. It must. It must. But then a little bit of the soul goes away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, this is not the London. This is a very comfortable London if I had an Oyster card.
Yeah. Well, you don't even need that now. You just need your phone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But-
that's it.
I'm tempted to go walking and exploring and shopping for stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not what car guys are about.
Yeah,
We're about
no.
driving.
To be fair, I took him to Forbidden Planet. I thought he'd like break his wallet there, but he didn't buy anything. He ended up making me buy something instead. So
I didn't make you do anything. You just surrendered.
I did. I surrendered.
The problem is, I was like, I fervently believe that the problem with the car guy industry right now and the review industry, all of it, is that it's all about consumption.
Yeah.
Every YouTube video you see, every influencer is like, oh, your life won't be complete unless you have this. Maybe at the very high end, you need to have the GT3 RS, the ST.
So here's my question.
Why?
Reviews, are they still reviews? When we talk about the whole YouTube arena, TikTok, Instagram, let's all lump them together. Are they still reviews or are they now just marketing videos?
They're advertorials. They're basically, when's the last time you saw a review of a car that was negative? No, forget negative.
Yeah.
Critical.
Yeah.
When I say critical, I mean it's not negative.
I mean, to be fair, it's a bit difficult because there aren't actually any bad cars
So
anymore.
that's the
I mean, there's soulless
So what do we do?
cars, there's acidine cars, but there's not bad cars. You remember years ago when we got a Chinese car in a car magazine in Dubai, and we were like, this is
Oh,
shit.
we
don't
could
even
lambast
we,
it.
we couldn't even. I didn't even drive it. I was like, oh, it's horrible.
There are cars
But
in the days
now-
that we returned because they were so bad.
Seriously, and we have done that. But nowadays, like, you know, the launch, which I can't go on, but the one that I was most looking for this year was a Chinese car. It was for the MG Cyberster, which I can't go on because it clashes with something else. But look at that, what a turnaround! I was really looking forward to driving a Chinese car this year.
So I'm not interested.
I know it's got an MG badge, but it is a
terrible.
Chinese car.
We're not interested in new cars. And what I'm interested in road tripping. You're interested in a bus.
Yeah. Or the tube, actually. I know. You normally will find me on the tube. Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is take whatever car you've got, whatever car, go and do something with it.
Yeah.
Go and point on a map and go there. Go there. Don't think about it. Don't dream about it. It's only petrol.
Yeah.
Just go and get there.
You're actually echoing something that recently I interviewed the guys that drove from Karachi to London.
Yeah.
And they almost did that on a whim as well.
Yeah.
They almost, like, even the decision of the car was decided on the last day because it was between a Land Cruiser or a Hilux, and they thought, oh, let's just
But
go
the Hilux
Hilux.
actually was the right car.
It was a real good car to do it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just set off without really a plan as such.
Yeah.
Just a rough idea of what the route was going to be, and that was it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, local knowledge gets you so far. I remember when I went up north in Saudi, it was people who were messaging the night before saying, take this road, avoid that road, go this way, you'll see something cool. But if you don't get out of the house, if you sit and watch videos, maybe
won't
like
see
this
anything.
one,
Yeah.
you won't know.
No, watch this video, friend.
Watch it often, repeat it often.
Yeah. Subscribe, like, share.
I just hope people are inspired.
So tell me about this other thing that you've been involved in since I came back here, which sounds really exotic and really cool and very classic. What is it that you're doing
So
right
I'm
now?
part of the
You've
team.
actually gone to the dark side a little bit though, haven't you? Because you've gone to the PR side a little
I
bit.
run communications for the Millimedia Experience
You don't need to
UAE,
apologize.
which is, I shall not. Essentially, we bring the Millimedia, which is the world's most famous classic car rally, to the
Yeah.
UAE, and we've done 2 of them, 2.5. A little
So
circle.
before we get into that, some people get this, it's like what happened with the Geneva show, because people are like, Geneva show is in Geneva, but no, Geneva show is not in Qatar. So how is a Millimiglia, which is such a European thing,
It still takes
how
place.
is
It just took place in Italy right now,
Yeah.
and they have about 400 cars. The problem
so how
with-
many sort of satellite editions of Millimiglia do
Just
they
us.
now have?
We're the most successful one in
Alright.
the world outside of Italy. There's a
Wow.
small event in America, doesn't do that much. It's more like a small warm-up event. It's literally called a warm-up. But the Millimedia is so big, and if you ever get a chance, go see the Mille. It's crazy. It's absolutely bananas. In the UAE, we have more of a luxury feel to it, but it's also very exotic to see all these Mercedes Gullwings driving through the desert, and camels. And even these are multi-millionaires. Even they stop and take pictures of camels. You know what they do it? Exactly what I said before. They want to do stuff with their cars.
Yeah.
They've bought the cars, they've driven it, they show it to their mates. Now they want to actually do something with their cars.
So do people ship these cars in?
Yep.
Wow.
Some of them fly them in.
Wow.
So the bill is astronomical.
Yeah.
But the adventure is something. Like last year,
So who handled? So there's 100 cars, you said.
100 cars.
100 exotic, classic, some
This-
high-end cars.
Well, not all of them. About 70% come from outside, 30% come from the
Right,
Middle East.
right.
But 70% is still a darn good number.
Yeah.
And when they come
That
out
must
here,
be a heck of a sight.
well, when you see like 6 Gullwings in a row with their wings up, it's quite a thing. When you see, not that I condone this, but it did happen, a member of noted Simon Kidston's party driving his Dino into the desert and doing donuts. Donut, not
Whoa.
holding back, proper donuts.
Wow.
The video's on his Instagram, go check it
Yeah,
out.
well, there you go.
But they just do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? On one side you can be like, okay, that's a Dino.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. Then like, you can clean it.
Yeah, yeah.
You can fix it.
But also there, you can actually do that. We do donuts here. Even if you're out in the middle of sticks,
What if you did it in a field?
A cop will pop out somewhere and go, oi, with a camera and get you.
You really got
But-
fun policed.
We have been fun policed here. I was just chatting to my buddy yesterday that I met up with, and I was talking about back in the day. I once got caught. I didn't get caught actually, but kind of almost got caught. I was doing a midnight run. I used to do a newspaper run.
Yeah.
So I used to go from West London into Central London and across to East London to the printers,
Yeah.
take it across. One time I came through Shoreditch, and I came through like I was in a Supra. I used to own that Supra, right? This one with the pop-up lights. And I went into Shoreditch a bit too fast, came right through it, all literally drifting sideways the whole way through. This was about 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Parked at the traffic light, and there's that thing where you're like, whoa, that was really cool. Nobody saw it. Somebody did see it.
Yeah.
Police car pulled up right next to me.
Yeah.
And the guys just started doing this. He started like, put your window down.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so done. And then suddenly their siren went off and they took off because they must have got something better to do, you know. But
You
even
were
then,
lucky.
I was lucky, but even then, and I had it in another instance as well, I had the feeling He wasn't telling me to pull over. He was telling me to put my window down. So I'm being optimistic, but I'm assuming that I was going to get a telling off.
You would have got telling off.
Yeah, because back in the day you did. Because another time also I got a telling off, but you didn't get a ticket. You just got a telling off, and yeah, you put the fear of God in you. I mean, to be fair, like, you know, but even then they had the power to. But now that doesn't happen. Now it's a fine every single
cameras,
time.
Even 2 o'clock in the morning, cameras never sleep.
The cameras never sleep. The cameras never sleep. The yellow box cameras will get you. The speeding cameras will get you, and even the cops will just give you a ticket every time.
It's not safe either, is it, London? Because you're telling me that all sorts of stuff is happening.
I know, crime is a nightmare. Crime is a nightmare. There are stabbings and shootings every day. It's gone crazy. Cars are being stolen left, right, and centre. Phone snatches are happening. Yes, exactly. Phone snatches have people running around on scooters, stealing people's bags and phones and stuff like that. That's all happening. It's not great. It's not great. I don't know if it's going to get any better after the election that we're having, but it's certainly in terms of cars, it's going to get worse. I can guarantee that right now. You know.
It's all very deeply depressing. But the UAE, at least you can still drive your patrol up to 140 for now. And I think we enjoy driving. The irony is we don't have great roads. That's the great thing. We have all these cars and all this passion packed into such a small country, but we don't know where to go.
Yeah, and ironically, we do have some incredible roads there.
Yeah.
Like you go, like some parts of Wales, definitely where you're going, Scotland, you will find some amazing roads up in Scotland. There are some epic roads to do some incredible driving.
If you can't find it where you are, go somewhere else. For example, 10 years ago, I went to Salalah for the first time, and there was nobody there. Last time I went to Salalah, which was last year in, I believe, July, there was a traffic jam into the tourist location, and they were all Dubai number plates. Everybody has invaded Oman. They've all had the same idea. And you know what? Oman's big enough. There's room. There's room for people. Because if you don't like a campsite, just go down the coast. Oman's big enough.
Oman's epic though.
Huge.
Epic. They got the best roads. They got the best scenery.
It
was quite annoying because we were on the UAE and Oman are like that, but we were on this side, and on that side they got the more picturesque stuff. They just got better stuff on that side.
I've seen stuff that takes your breath away. Some of these landscapes are absolutely unbelievable. And
I remember, shout out to the guys at Nissan in the UAE, because I remember one time we did a trip with Nissan. I can't remember if it was a patrol or something, and we drove way into Oman, and then we had a helicopter ride back to Muscat. So we traced along the coast. There was 2 helicopters. We were chasing each other. It was brilliant, like a movie. And we came along the coast, and just looking at the coast, I mean, it was just stunning, absolutely epic.
And the roads are
really
so lovely to drive on. The speed limits are fairly relaxed, so you can at least get some decent turn of speed. There's much to enjoy. UAE was heading the same way. We're getting more cameras. We haven't got average speed cameras yet, but it's going to be a pose and display kind of country soon enough, I suspect.
That's really sad, you know. Because I mean,
so if you'd ask me what car to buy, I mean, I'll answer back, what does it matter?
Hey, are you liking this video? Then make sure that you hit the like button. That's really important. Also, tell everybody. Here's another question then. Because we brought out what car to buy. What's happening with electric cars over there? Because like over here, like electric cars are the big thing. In Europe, they're the next big thing. They're really pushing them. Policymakers have pushed them. You know, we're being told we must buy them. What's happening over there?
At the moment, electric cars have taken a little bit of a dive. So the sales are stable-ish, but I would say resale values are not going up and probably heading down. Tesla is the only brand that's really doing well. Everything else is sort of...
So who's the big players apart from Tesla there? Is VW there with the ID right here?
No, the IW thing had a big problem because there were so many cars being illegally imported, and then the official dealer said...
Surely you would think that's a good thing.
The dealer said no, because they were selling it under the cost that they could import it as. Because they were being made cheaper in China, whereas the guy who were bringing it in for the UAE would have to bring it in from a different plant, which would cost more for UAE certifications or whatever the real result would be. But either way, there are no IDs sold anymore. So you get a lot of like random Chinese cars, but majority Teslas. The Europeans struggling. Mercedes not really selling a lot of EQSs or EQEs. So
when you talk about Chinese cars, what is this? What's it? The Jetour?
Jetour is there.
How is that? Because somebody recently asked me about. Yeah, somebody asked me about that
on the radio.
Because somebody here wanted me to get him one. I'm like, I'm supposed to get you one. And he's like,
I can't get you one in Dubai, man.
Seriously?
Dubai is like this back order. Yeah. There's no cars.
Wow.
We had the dealer on our radio show a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, yes, just can't get the cars.
Have you driven off-road yet?
Haven't driven it at all, but I must. I think they're fine. For a lot of people, here's, slightly side tangent, but Japanese car makers abandoned a price point below 100,000 dirhams, and they gave it to the Koreans. Except they and the Koreans have both have to abandon it again because the Chinese have come and taken
They've
it.
taken over that ground.
So below
yeah.
150,000 dirhams is Chinese cars. Above that it's Japanese. But the Japanese and the Koreans are getting really squeezed in now because they all try to be premium, right? So they have between 150 to 250 to play with, and after that, nobody's paying 250 plus on a Japanese
So
car.
they elevated themselves out of the market. is
out
what
of,
you're
out
saying.
of contention.
Oh my
After 250, you
God.
start going, okay, I want to buy like a German car. Like this one is going past. He's having fun at least.
They're Suzuki's.
Yeah,
I think they were Hayabusa.
yeah.
But they're true Suzuki, they were bikes, so not cars. I mean, to be honest, like bikers, you can still see people on bikes.
You could enjoy bikes. I had a mate who's been a lifelong off-roader. He's owned Ferraris, and he bought his first adventure motorcycle, and he's loving it. He's in his 50s. He's probably going to break his neck. But the important thing is, he's getting to do something that's fun and have some. And that's the whole point here. All the cars now, like Ford has 3 Raptors on sale. The only place in the world you can buy the Bronco, the big Raptor, and the Ranger Raptor in one country, right? And they're great cars. They're actually really good cars. But they do everything for you. You press sand mode and you just
It takes care of everything. That's
you just
it.
drive off in every direction, and it's just you can go faster and faster till you hurt yourself.
Wow.
So is that what you really want from a? I mean, again, that's the whole point of a journalist, not just to review cars, but
Yeah.
tell you, set the tone, tell you what's cool, what's not cool. Tastemakers, right?
I mean, again, it's good to have a choice because for some people that is what they want. They want to go for a picnic in the desert. They don't want to have to worry about the techniques of how to get
But that's
there.
how we lost
you know.
automatics.
That's how we lost automatics. That's true. That
You
is
say
true.
it's, you want a little bit easier. Next thing you
Yeah.
know, it's so easy, and like I don't feel like going. I'll just stay at home.
Yeah, but next thing we know, we'll have level 5 autonomy anyway. Certainly in the desert, they could easily do that, couldn't
well,
they? I mean, it
the
wouldn't take much, would it?
dunes don't change too much.
Yeah. I mean, and that's coming there. Now, this is the other thing, because the Middle East market is always, okay, well, electric cars aside, but it's always quicker and more eager to adopt new technology, isn't it? So when we talk about autonomous systems and self-driverless cars and all that, I mean, I did an article recently, and I know that the UAE actually, I think, has now got a law in place for that. So they've actually now legislated to allow for these cars.
Probably would help some of the driving standard, but honestly, you haven't seen much of it. There are people out here still drive. The traffic is too chaotic, and the recent rain showed no technology survives in that rain. I mean, we got flooded. The UAE got dunked.
That was bad. So this, I don't know if you guys know, but like, was it about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
About a month ago, yeah.
About a month ago? Proper flooding. Like I've been
2.5 years
I've
of
never
rain.
seen anything like that.
2.5
Yeah.
years of rain in one day.
My goodness. And somebody told me what 30,000 cars lost in that, was it?
It's a lot more.
Yeah,
We could be
really.
looking at 100,000 cars,
Wow.
billion dirhams plus.
And the other thing I heard was like it's not possible to get insurance for a
Well,
lot of people.
insurance has gone up. The thing is, a lot of the cars from the floods are still being repaired from the first flood in February.
Oh right.
So the April cars are still stacking up.
Yeah, but flood damaged cars are never really properly repaired, are they?
They're not repairing a lot of them. Most of them are being
Yeah,
written off left
yeah.
because they just don't have the parts around the
Yeah.
time. But it is a bad. It's good. It should in theory stoke sales.
Yeah.
Because people are like, I need a car.
Yeah, you need a
Guess
car.
one thing.
Yeah.
Problem is, okay, I get a classic state example. A friend of mine, his wife bought a 3-month-old RAV4, sitting in their car park, it was written off. The water came in, even mighty
Wow.
Toyota was flooded. That was the end of it. Toyota said the repairs equal to 135,000 dirhams. The car was 3 months old, and they're like, it's written off. It's more than the
Wow.
car's worth.
Yeah.
So that's fine. They gave them the payout, all well and good. They go to Toyota, can we get another RAV4 please? Oh no, sorry. There's no stock. Might not get one for 6 months.
Which isn't a surprise, really, is it?
So a lot of people
Oh
don't have
my
cars.
God.
So they're buying used
And that's a
cars.
place where you need a car. You do need a car there.
You can't read tube.
Yeah.
I mean, the tube does work.
Yeah.
We do have our own metro system, but
Yeah.
you need a car to really do stuff. Or maybe you.
So what if
no,
they
no,
do-
you don't though. A lot of people below the age of 25, I know loads of people not getting their licenses, not driving. Even in
Really?
Dubai.
Even in Dubai. That's extraordinary.
They're just-
I mean, that's the first thing you would want to do is get a license as soon as you're able to, really.
Not anymore.
Wow.
Ubers, taxi cabs. It's most people are like, I don't want to be hassled about driving. I don't want to do the test. It's too difficult. People are lazy. People are lazy. Genuinely lazy. But forget about automatics and manuals. People don't want to drive in the Middle East.
That's
What else are you gonna do?
that's thrown me quite a bit because I'm like, wow. I mean, how does that even work? That is incredible to not want to drive.
People don't really hassle with repairing cars. They don't have hassle with insuring or maintaining them. And I think to some extent we are kind of a little bit at fault to that, because everybody talks about car maintenance as though it's some black art. It's really complicated. It's
But
not
most
like
cars in the Middle East and the GCC, most cars are generally newer. Most fall within the warranty remit. Warranties are now
the
7-8
cost of
years.
servicing cars has really gone up as well.
Really?
Everything's expensive now.
But I thought it had been opened up to all garages. You don't actually have to take them to the main dealer anymore, do you?
But still, the cost of labor has gone up, so it's not as cheap. You can still restore a car fairly cheaply, but actually maintaining a car can get quite expensive. So for a lot of people, they're like, it's not so much the cost of the car, it's the fact that they don't know what's coming. Now, we as car people go, okay, hear that noise. I know that's a serious noise. I know. And you know kind of, if you had a car long enough, what's going to be the problems with it. But for a lot of the younger set who didn't grow up with cars, they're like, everything is terrifying. I have a friend who says, I will not do anything on a car, get it repaired until I get it scanned. I'm like, what's a scan? It's like, oh, we just diagnostic.
Oh, yes.
But they're like, I need a diagnostic. I'm like, but you know what the problem is, because I can tell you that's a fan belt noise, or that's a bushing. It's like, no, but I need to get it scanned. I'm like, the scan won't tell you what's wrong with the car. But that's what it is. They keep saying it's like a phone, you know, the phone will tell you what's wrong with it. Yeah.
So in terms of like now, with the forget about the new cars, you're talking about, you know, knowing these things, the classic way of judging what's wrong with a car. What is the classic scene like there? And I do
Growing
think that
and
to some
expanding.
extent we were kind of responsible with helping to kickstart that scene, weren't we, a little bit, you know, I think.
People have kept growing, the car meets have kept happening, and there's such a variety of cars that honestly, there's
Are these
nothing-
cars that are coming in, or are these
lot
cars
of
that
cars
people
coming.
are finding in the majlises or whatever and
So
restoring?
that's kind of an old wives' tale now, I suspect. Those cars are never, I mean, there are a few still, a few Sheikhs, Ferraris, and the Shahs, Lamborghini, that's the thing, obviously. But majority of cars are coming in from other places, and people are just trying to one-up each other by getting different kinds of cars.
Yeah, but then it's not the same thing anymore, isn't it? Because the thing about classic cars is the story. It's the attachment.
No, just go and buy it.
Yeah, if you just go and buy it, then it's just like buying a new car.
Yeah.
But you've got to have that sentimental connection, that story behind it. To me, that's what brings a classic
So
car to life.
I find
you
it,
know?
I call it the abject failure of Singer. I think people agree with you. People in Dubai still like to restore a car and then use it. And I don't recommend this. I have done it. Don't do it. The world's most expensive Toyota. But
The Toyota Land Cruiser, that's
Yeah.
not as reliable as Toyota Land Cruisers are supposed to be.
it was beaten like an abused wife its entire life. And it just wants to die, and I refuse to let it
and
die.
you won't let it die. Oh
won't
my
let it
God.
die.
Well, I tell you what, it looks fantastic.
It does.
It looks, I've seen pictures of it, it looks amazing.
The thing is, like, I saw it was worth so little that I thought, what's the harm? Let's go mad.
Yeah.
You know the number of people try to buy that car, and I say it to its credit.
Yeah.
I've had people try to buy it in supermarkets and immigration. When I'm traveling through Oman, the guy at the counter was talking so long. I'm like, it's not for sale. He's like, really? I'm like, no, it's not for sale. But the thing is, no matter how unreliable it is, it's never failed to get me where I need to go.
That's the important thing. That's
Like,
the Toyota thing.
I went to Saudi and I did 10,000 kilometers, and I just checked the oil. That was it.
Well, would you overland it? Would you drive here?
You could easily
Yeah?
do it. Easily. It's built for it, right? And it's way overbuilt for it. It has little tips and tricks. It's like a Batmobile now.
Yeah.
It's got stuff in it that people don't necessarily expect. But I like that about it.
Yeah.
Like it's built up its own little story now. And that's what a car is about. Ultimately, you know it so well, right? When you just go and buy a car, it's not the same connection.
Yeah.
And as you see now with YouTubers and influencers, people are flipping cars
Yeah.
for money, right? So they buy first with the views, or you buy the worst example, or the most expensive, or the most broken, and then as soon as people get bored of it, you drop it. Where's the connection? Where's the story?
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I agree with. I think the car. That's
cynicism
what
to the
actually,
whole thing,
That's
you know?
what brings the classic car to life. You know, classic cars are beautiful objects to look at, but until you meet the owner, until you hear like, why have you got this car?
How many classic cars have you seen at auctions, at Bonhams, you saw these Ferrari XXX 30 miles from new? What's the story?
Yeah. When somebody tells me the car is like so fresh it hasn't been driven, I'm like, there's something wrong there.
Do you really
You know?
want a virgin car? Don't answer that.
Not a
But
classic, yes, but not a classic, because a classic needs to be driven. You know, like, you know, the more
imagine
you drive it, the
imagine
better
a
it gets.
Virgin F40. You never heard those turbos scream, you know?
That's not good. I was speaking to this guy. I was at the London Concourse, and he was a Lotus Esprit owner. So I always
Oh my
try and
God.
chat to them.
What a shock.
And he had a beautiful example there, white Esprit Turbo. And he said to me, this is my second one. I used to own one when they were new. And that was my car. I just used to commute in it. And I said, well, what about, lots of trouble, usually serious, they all break. He said, never had a problem with it. He said, I just used it every day and it was fine. And that's the thing, they need to be used, they need to be run.
I had a DeLorean and I doubled the mileage on it. In 40 years, it had 6,000 miles. In 5 years with me, it went up to 13 or 14,000 miles. It's still being driven.
Yeah. Where is it now?
It's in Dubai. It belongs to another gentleman of conflict nation, shall I say. But he's enjoying it. He's driving it.
Excellent.
He's putting miles on it.
Yeah.
Car gets driven. And that's the thing. I think the Land Rover is the one brand that escaped me. I've always wanted to get a Land Rover. I know it's a bad idea. But I feel like it's a horrendously bad idea. But it would be fun to try it.
I mean, if you get something that's charismatic, you know what you should do? Is find one of those old, when the Emirati Rangers were there, find one of their cars. Get that back on the road. Although I think there's a company that's offered tours, isn't it?
Platinum Heritage.
Yeah.
We partner with them for the rally.
Right.
They still have those cars. Those are all 4-cylinder petrols.
Yeah.
And they take 5, 6, 7 people. They don't go very fast, but they bound along in the desert just fine. They are just a chunk of metal that you sit in, if I can describe it.
Yeah, 4 wheels, metal.
There's barely a seat. I mean, but it's incredibly charismatic.
Yeah.
And they never break because, well, they probably break all the time.
Yeah.
But what do they need to do? They do travel about less than a mile back and forth. That's not bad.
So you're going to Scotland then, and you're driving up to Scotland. And you're driving back again, or?
Driving back.
Wow.
In a Honda ZR-V, shout out to Honda. Well done, Honda UK.
There you go.
Last we saw. We did ask for a Type R.
But that's actually, the one you've got is probably the most sensible option.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of miles and fuel is not cheap here.
I'm not looking forward
As
to
you're
my
about to
first
find
fuel.
out.
Yeah. Cannot expense it to Honda. I don't think it works like that. But it is a very nice car. I'm shocked by how complete it is. It's a Civic, but sits higher. It's a strange looking car and feeling car, but it's a very well put together car. And I can't help but think as you were driving in, what more do you need in the UK?
Yeah.
It does about 48, 50, almost 50 miles per gallon.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably
petrol.
would do, because it's a hybrid, so it'd be very efficient.
It's almost no emissions. It runs electric power around town. Like, what more do you need? But I do wish for a bit more excitement from the brand that Suchiro made,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that brand was there was a little bit extra oomph in the car. There was always something a little bit extra in them,
This is an extremely good car, but it's not an exciting one.
Yeah.
But it's not meant to be. And a lot of brands these days are losing that exciting. Like Jaguar Land Rover still makes great cars, don't get me wrong. But I'm not really excited by the brand. It's only, you know when you get excited by the Jaguar or Land Rover? When you tell somebody you got one.
Yeah.
It's like, I got a Range Rover, oh there you go. That's what you get to excited
Although, I really did like, I've reviewed quite a few F-Types in
Dying
Dubai.
now, almost dead.
Oh, it's dead now, it's finished. I think they've discontinued it.
Yeah.
But they actually make good value now, actually. They're actually pretty good value
If they don't
cars,
kill
though.
you.
Well, no, that's if you get the V8. But actually, one of the favorite ones I drove was actually the 2-liter.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well balanced. This was in Dubai.
Had the V8 though.
Yeah, I suppose. But
you of all
for
people,
example,
smoky shade.
Yeah, I know, V8, yeah. But over here, forget about it. You can't afford a V8
The
here.
one to get is the first V8 Roadsters, the convertibles.
Yeah.
Because those things could barely put the power down.
Because they only had rear-wheel drive. Later on, they added four-wheel drive,
They
didn't
had
they?
to.
Yeah,
They had to. The car was undrivable. I drove the 4-wheel drive one on a track in Spain, and it still was barely putting the power down. The problem was when they made 4-wheel drive, they solved the lariness, but they took away some of the passion. Because before, when you drive an F-Type, you're like, I feel like a muscle car.
Yeah.
It's so nice to drive.
Yeah.
Gives me the chills.
I feel I might be dead around the next corner.
Actually, maybe the answer is just to go find the nicest 64 Mustang 289 you can.
Yeah.
I always said the last 2 cars in the world will be a Mustang and a Defender. Not a Land Cruiser. Land Cruiser will.
But that's the answer to London as well. Because this is the thing.
Actually, both
London,
cars are exempt.
because in London, if it's over 40 years, you can drive it. You can register it as a historic status, and then you can drive it in London. You don't pay the tax. You don't even have to MOT them.
So get a 289 Mustang.
Well, Mustangs are really expensive. But you know what's really cheap? Like 80s Camaros and Trans Ams. And they got a really, that big engine that doesn't produce a lot of power, but it's just a big engine.
Hang on. Before you, I have the answer, and the answer is called modification.
Yes.
There's a YouTube video I will recommend to you afterwards. You know those IROC Zs
Yeah.
that came with the 5.7, called the TBI engine, right? Never came with a manual. But there are enterprising young lads in the US who have worked out how to fit a manual to it.
Oh.
So what they've done is several things at once, right? They have done an entire plug-in wiring loom harness. So you just literally fit the manual, fit the wiring loom, and then you get more power. They've also got lowered suspension so it handles properly. And suddenly you have an 80s Camaro that works.
That sounds about right. That's
And
what
I'm
you
like,
need.
for $35,000, you
Yeah.
could have a car that ticks every box.
That is awesome. I'll have to check that out. That sounds really good. Dude, I am so glad that you stopped by in London today because it's been too long catching up with you, honestly.
I know, we just
but the
talked for
time, but the
hours
time,
and
is, but you know, like, what was it? 8 years that we worked together.
Flew by, didn't it?
Yeah,
No, it didn't.
but we did so
No,
much.
there were good days, there were bad.
There were some bad days, but we had a lot of laughs,
Yeah.
and I think we did a lot of some groundbreaking stuff. I think some
All
of the
of it was
videos that we did and
groundbreaking.
some of the events we did were pretty spectacular. I reckon.
I
you
mean,
know.
all you can hope for is that you get remembered. But I think more than that, if we inspired people, that's enough.
Yeah.
Inspired
yeah.
people to drive, inspired people to love cars. That's all I ever really wanted to
Yeah.
do, right? Was
Yeah.
inspire people. You can't ask for more than that. And I think Motoring Middle East will live on forever.
Yeah, I hope so. I certainly hope so.
And the Brown Cars guys live.
Well, Brown Car Guy, that's where you'll find me.
Yeah.
And you're still on Motoring Middle East, so that's where they can find
And I'm
you.
on the radio now, Dubai 103.8 FM. So you can hear me
Is
every
the new car?
Saturday.
Is it called? It's not called Car Talk now, is it? What is it called?
No, it's Motormania.
Motormania. It's called Motormania now.
Yeah.
I do miss doing Car Talk. That was great fun.
Well, this is car talk.
This is Car Talk basically,
Yeah.
but now you're running it.
Exactly.
You're running the ship. You have
The
the
funny
con.
thing is that I've got the con. You're running the internet. I'm running the wireless.
There you go.
Funny how that worked out, eh?
It's funny when you put it like that.
Because I was the internet guy and he
Yeah.
was the talkative person.
There you go,
Now we
alright.
swapped roles.
Weird, huh? All right. Well, we both better stay off TikTok. I think that's the answer.
Oh, that's never happening. I can't dance.
Oh
Like
gosh.
Sadiq
Anyway,
Khan dancing.
now that would be something.
That would go viral. That would go viral in a heartbeat.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, talking of Sadiq Khan, don't forget to get my book as well, The ULEZ File, available on Amazon. He's just got a copy. He's going to read it and do a review very, very soon.
Absolutely.
So there you go. On the radio, actually. That's what he's going to do. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed that. And I think that we've got to do this again soon. I don't know if you're going to come back or if I'm going to come over there. I don't know. Who knows what the future holds. But it's been
As
fantastic
the
to do
immortal words
this.
of Doc Brown, the future is what you make it.
Best place to end it, I think. Check this out, guys. It's my book. It's my first novel, and it's written for car fans like you. It's a fun political action thriller. It's full of cool cars and spectacular action. Get your copy now at Amazon.com. Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links. Or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.